doing really well since their recent import, Forev, has joined the roster. A lot of people were questioning what was going to be happening with this team. With Demon, unfortunately, maybe unfortunately for him and for Demon fans, taking his exit from the team, Bulba shifting over to a support position, which we already know and say it every time. Bulba, that guy who's under that kind of magnifying glass whenever he's played. But the fact that matters is the kid's a phenomenal coach. He's a great team leader, and now he's able to put himself in that support position and kind of just get the lay of the land of the map and be able to make those calls. Similar to like how Misery was doing so well with Thunderbirds and continues to do well. MP have MV kind of as their shot caller and drafter. It's envy. We never know what we're going to get. Sometimes it's shots of brilliance. Sometimes it's just flat out crazy. But it's gotten to this point so far, and they've already got that recent win under their belt. You never know.
That's true about what you mentioned about envy. He either has like some super crazy ideas that work, or just some crazy ideas that are just that crazy ideas.
It's not just drafting. It's like maybe even play calls, like in the game, like an idea to quickly make the jump for the Roche when maybe it wasn't the best timing, or maybe he'll make the best call to jump for the Roche. It's always a treat to watch an MVP game. So let's not delay things any longer. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The draft is before us, and a lot of familiar comfort picks are going to get picked up and banned here. MP getting rid of the Batrider Warlock, and then, of course, the Abed Meepo in the second phase must go. We'll probably be seeing that ban throughout the whole series. I wouldn't be surprised. Digital Chaos get rid of the Wisp, which MP have fallen back on from time to time again. Also getting rid of the Treant Protector Bristle back in the second phase, even though there's no Wisp. Still going to get rid of. And Digital Chaos have picked up the Rubik and Nyx Assassin here, Lacoste.
A good opening. Always with the Rubik, you always like have pretty much everything. Good lane support, good gank potential, good setup. You can't really pick some team fight-oriented heroes like Magnus. Because you always need to be aware of him stealing it. Also, Nyx Assassin, not much to say about it. Works miracles against Ember Spirit with spiked carapace, and Impale, that's more than 5 seconds stun.
And they have it against that Ember, yeah. It's a pretty juicy pickup, it feels like, for DC on that one. We're going back the way of MP, though. Second phase pickups here. Death Prophet hasn't been banned, so it feels easy to call her out as a possible option when you're watching an MP game. But still the Pylai / Aoi hero to be considered. And look at this. A callback from their Game 1 victory against Thunderbirds. They're going to be reaching for the Aoi Enchantress once again.
Yeah, Aoi really played well, that Enchantress. I mentioned during that pick phase, kind of an underrated hero. We saw Lil playing it during Kiev, and only AUI. I don't think I saw anyone else playing that hero. I mean, hero does so well in like a super early game, first like 5 minutes. Then it's not so strong, but scales really good into super late game.
The only time also, and you never really see it, especially in the jungling support position in the American region. A lot of these teams like to pass on moving in for Chen and Enchantress. There was a phase, of course, when Enchantress was prominent as an offlaner, and we got to see the likes of, Swindle Melons, Bulba, and IX Mike playing it through that phase. But yeah, generally, it takes a special kind of player to be able to continually pull out Enchantress, regardless of what team or what region they're a part of. And here, Aoi is going to be pulling it out. Now we go back to DC's side, and you see this Enchantress come out, and you suspect you're going to have some trouble coming your way in the laning phase a bit. So curious how DC defensively consider preparing for that, or maybe putting priority in a mid laner who shouldn't be troubled too much by a possible roaming Enchantress. There is also a Crystal Maiden out there, but Crystal Maiden Rubik pairing, I don't know. For now, though, they get the Magnus pickup. Our first of the day, the always hype RPs. I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. Always good to have Magnus. From what we saw during this NA qualifiers. These teams like to play Nyx Assassin as position 4, and they're making it work.
5 seconds remaining.
So they'll stick to that probably. Digital Chaos needs a melee carry hero or just a melee mid.
Yeah.
Melee mid. Well, they can go. One thing I'm seeing here is Ursa. They can place it mid, good against Ember Spirit, but is vulnerable to gank against Enchantress. But they can also place it a safe lane, so he doesn't have to bother against that untouchable during the mid game, and is also good against Ember Spirit, especially with Empower.
Yeah, I really like actually that. Now that you mentioned it, the Ursa seems like a pretty tasty pickup here for DC. Other great possible Mason pickups too, if they want to go for a different safe lane option. You know, Slark and such as Jug. You know, those are all out there too. But we're looking at MP's side first, and probably going to be eyeballing the MSS grab. We saw him play Axelier today. Sand King, as we witnessed yesterday, right?
To pick.
Yeah, he was. No, we saw today.
Oh, that was today.
Sand King. That was today. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was actually 7 King. We can call it.
Ah.
7 kills.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, of course. Oh, he had a crazy good Sand. That was the first game. That was another Enchantress Sand King game. That's right. It's coming together now. This has been a crazy week of qualifiers. But he got such wonderful timing. 12-minute, right? Arcane Blink Dagger gets action happening there. Goes cross country to continue adding the pressure. It was a really good showing.
Yeah, he just completely won his lane, then moved to bottom lane where they got some kills, managed to take tower down pretty fast. Then with his pipe build to negate the damage from Tinker. I mean, MSS, I'm not sure how popular he is as a player, as his fan base, but that guy can really play Dota. He reminds me of kind of a guy that plays pretty much the same heroes and the same style of XXS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like a NA Renegade. He's been on many teams, tier 1 teams, tier 2, tier 3. He can. I don't know. I love watching Mojo. He's always a very entertaining kind of a player. And it'll be great to see him on the Sand King once again. Final bans, though. MP get rid of the Lina. DC will pick up the Storm Spirit in its spot. And DC, of course, they get rid of the Death Prophet because it's MP after all. And if they're thinking about going hefty push behind maybe the Power of the Enchantress, she could be one of the better options. But they decide to go into the Terror Blade. Been a while since we've seen MP get their hands on this hero again. It feels like it's just always a traditional Envy kind of a hero or Envy draft kind of a hero, but I feel like it's also been a while at the same time.
Yeah, well, he plays Terrorblade. Before he played it on mid. Now he wants to play it. It's on safe lane. Has an Ember Spirit for Fata. Him and Fata had the same hero pool, but Envy, I think, plays more heroes now that he's swapped to position 1.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like a good spot for both of them. And like you said, they do share a pretty similar hero pool, which could work to their benefit, which means they pick up those kind of heroes early, like Embers, like Death Prophets, and they can always flip the script once they see more of the picks come out and just like kind of pull a 180 on their opponent. And in some cases, it can work out to their advantage. Here now, we'll have to see how MP decide to lane it. I suspect we're going to be having a spirit duel here in the mid lane between Storm and Ember. So with that, we didn't get to talk much about it, but Mason gets one of his classic comfort picks in his Lifestealer. For most of Digital Chaos's games, Mason's been finding himself with almost free farm in his laning phase while the rest of the team is kind of able to go about through the mid game and cause a lot of trouble.
Too much free space. He always is sitting on the top of net worth during the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. He's always one of the highest CS players in the game. And let's get underway. Our grand final towers, 2-0 levels, of course. Team Tower Showdown has always been a great disappointment, unfortunately, in the American qualifier, but
Let's see how it looks in game. Oh, the Dire
Who has
beats.
more money? Dire's got a big,
Prepare
girthy
for
black one.
battle.
And, oh yeah, I'm sorry, DC, but Dire's certainly takes the cake. They have more money in their compendiums, and they won this one. So, MP at least get that, and we're going to get underway. Early smoke to fly out. Suddenly, Owie already across the seas has planted a very nice ward here, being able to just get some clear-cut vision, but good thing for Mason is that he's also smoked. He'll be moving under that without any sort of detection at all. Meanwhile, Aue gets another ward planted, this one in the mid lane. I don't know if he's planning on offensively jungling or just hanging about till a possible courier snipe, but
He's gonna snipe it.
You're
I mean,
confident?
yeah. Ench has the highest movement speed in game,
30
340.
seconds to battle.
I think
But
it's tied with Kotal as well, so
And I don't think Coddle has 340.
I think he's pretty high. I think he was tied. I wish the Kotal was in the game now, but whatever the case may be, the point is, you're right. She does move fast. Fast enough to be able to get an easy courier takedown.
Yeah, but the thing is, where he's standing right now has a good vision on the lane. He can just get the creep and bully Storm Spirit from the bottom. If it's Storm Spirit doesn't have anything, if he gets that guy with the tornado, there's the chicken coming.
Ooh, here it comes. Is it gonna be sniped? Hi there. 1 and 2. See you
Radiant's
later.
courier has been
And
killed.
that is going to be a bit unfortunate there for Abed, as he'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, it looks like. Good snipe there for Owie. Patience pays off, and he can do as he pleases through the jungle front side of Digital Chaos.
There it is. What I was talking about, the guy with tornado.
The bird.
The Storm Spirit has nothing to stop it, so meh.
It's going to be a tough time over there. And MP also went with having Pi to the bottom lane join the side of Envy, so they are dishing out heavy early game pressure. The early metamorph as Envy can kind of bully back Mason and try to snipe out as many last hits as he can. And it's just a free-for-all for these supports to kind of swing it out in the jungle nearby.
Yeah, but look at the bottom lane. NP, his heroes, him and Ogre, they have 19 armor, level 1, together.
These guys are freaking walking rocks right now. Just Dubu's forced to telekinesis throw back down, and he'll poke at the Ogre as much as possible, but you do not want to be trading right clicks too much with the big boy. Overall, DC are trying to maintain order here, but the lane does get pressured closer towards the top, and that's where Envy is going to be able to get some coasting farm. We'll check out the other side of the globe here, and we're catching Forev. Bully MSS all the way back with the skewer play as both the Magnus and Sand King trade blows here. Sand King, of course, with that caustic finale is going to make the laning phase pretty good for him.
MSS being aggressive once again. He knows he's having a 1 versus 1 matchup. He decides to just push the lane with Barrow Strike, and it gives him time to pull those creeps back and get the creep equilibrium on his tower. Also, interesting build with Mango. He had it 2 last time, so he could get 2 kills on that. Who was it? Timbersaw. Also, he went for Orb of Venom build just for extra slow.
Yep, he has the money for it and snags it up there in the side shop too. He's certainly being the dominating one, the bully one for now, at least in this lane. Forever can always kind of snipe down some CS last hits and maybe get a point in a shockwave to make it a bit easier, but certainly gonna
Look
be
at our friend Kagami.
Yeah,
What
I'm
is
looking
he
over.
doing
We
here?
got Kagami, aka Bulba, aka the Harry Potter one. He's super deep here. I don't know if he's hoping to get redemption on their courier, but he's gonna go coast to coast a bit and
MSS.
snag up a bounty. But yeah, MSS top lane. All right, we missed it. It's distracted by Bulba. Unfortunately, they're gonna move in and get
You
the first
missed
blood onto Forev. I missed it. I was watching Kagami walk around.
Mid lane.
Oh, Abed in trouble. Swinging it out with Fata, but Owie steps it in with the Centaur and locks him down. All right, very nice lead in from Owie. The Cyclone had been there kind of peppering away at the Storm a bit, but I guess he wasn't anticipating the rest of the army to come out with Owie and the Centaur.
MP really putting a lot of pressures on the lanes. They set their lanes correctly. And this Ench, she's level 3 already. Has another 2 creeps. One doesn't have mana though for an ADO.
That's all right. She has the stun at least. And she's just going to continue to work her way through the DC side of things. MSS at the top. Ooh! Could be in a bit of trouble here. Running away barely with any life. He's trying to dodge Bulba, but Bulba will pump fake his way into just a simple right click to get the job done. And it's going to be DC who will get themselves on the board now with that takedown. Dubu grabs up the arcane rune, but he's getting slowed up. He's going to be forced to telekinesis, throw back the centaur right on top of the head of Owie, but if he manages to get close enough, Fata will be there with the chains, and there's the stomp, and there's the kill. Fata, though, eats a few right clicks, but overall, a successful approach from Owie, still doing work on the Enchantress.
They're going back to Shrine. Heal up Storm. Is someone gonna join them? Not really. Okay, Fata just goes for the rune instead. They don't want to use it yet.
They'll preserve.
Try again.
Mason and Envy still swinging it out right now. Mason at 18 MV, pulling ahead quite a bit by about 10 CS ahead since the advantage that he was given. Kagami begins to build out some ancient stacks now. This is something for them to be able to fall back on. They do have the Empower of the Magnus, plus the Lightstealer later. He gets hit though. Burrow strike, Epicenter combo coming up from MSS. Forev attempts to skewer him backing away into the wall, but the damage will follow him, and the result will be the same.
From what I saw, MSS really shines in those 1 versus 1 matchups.
Yeah.
Look at the CS game. Of course, he has a stronger hero, but still 31 against 13. And
He's
2 levels ahead of him.
He's putting on a clinic right now. Bottom lane, Owie's now here. He's got a couple of creeps, and maybe they're thinking about tier 1 pressure, and they are. Metamorph going to be coming out now from Envy, and he begins to lay it on. Bobo's around the corner, but they don't nearly have enough of a defense. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're hoping to get the grab on Fata, and they will do so. A successful rotation in from Dubu. And with the level 6 being there for Abed, he's able to jump on in and help get the finish. Meanwhile, though, this tower still under heavy pressure, and it looks like it is going to be taken down. So it's a tier 1 trade for their mid lane Fata.
Yeah, they should be happy about it. They give it a last hit to Envy. They don't even want to try to go for it. But let's check. Oh, Sanking again, missing 1.2k gold for that Blink Dagger at this point of the game. Magnus kind of really struggling.
Mason could be in a little bit of trouble, but he does have that TP, and they figure he could just rage TP out, so they're not going to chase any further. Instead, they manage to cross-pass with Abed nearby, but does have that level 6. Will just ball away from any further trouble. Mason seems to be still comfortably farming his way through the lane on bottom, holding as long as he can before he is bullied out entirely, but he's still kind of going to be something that DC are going to be forced to fall back on a bit. Unless Abed can maybe get a big mid-game started. Dubu's coming around the corner towards the top lane. MSS is farming freely on the side, but it looks like they want to do something about it. Bulba's here now, too.
Sanking knows something is up. He's level 8 with the level 3 Caustic Finale.
Level 6 now for Rev, so at least they have RP. And if shit does get crazy, they'll at least have that to work with. But yeah, MSS game sensor not able to put himself defensively away from any sort of possible approach. And it's back to possible farm here. But as Abed steps back to his comfort camp, it's Owie there who's kind of messing with him a bit. Owie continues to kind of be a bit of a parasite, if you will, to DC's side of the map. It is, though. It's like annoying. He's constantly around taking the camps away, setting up ganks. He's playing Enchantress beautifully.
What's that parasite called? I mean, it might not be a parasite. It's more like a symbiosis between shark and some other fish that sticks to a shark, and he's safe there, but he cleans shark.
I don't know what this. I know what you're talking about though. Sorry, I'm very terrible with biology. Mason here, a creature of his own world, is trying to possibly save up for the Midas. He has that extra glove. Could be armlet. I don't know. At this point, I don't. Do you think he can afford to play this a bit greedier? Should he play a bit greedier?
Oh, he'll just wait and see how the next few minutes go.
Yeah, it's hard to say. There hasn't really been any sort of heavy conclusive fights or skirmishes that to this point that have been decisive or indicative on who's really winning the game, except for the fact that MSS is putting on a lot of work here in the top lane, but he has Blink Dagger now. Now we might see things change a little bit. This is MP's peak now, and they got the
smoke.
This is just what you do when you get a shiny new Blink Dagger. And do you always suspect the Blink Dagger at 9 minutes? Nah. Blink Arcanes at 9 minutes? Certainly not.
Oh, he missed it.
They move in. The epicenter does fly through and eventually gets close enough, but without that extra burst of damage, Abed seems to be able to make it away. The Caustic just unfortunately coming a bit short, and the man makes it away with just about 10 points of life. Oh, very unfortunate for the Blink Dagger debut of MSS.
They tried to bait him with Centaur Conqueror, but Fata just gave it up, didn't want to waste mana to kill him.
Oh, well. Still has the utility of using the Blink Dagger for any long-range initiations across other lanes, but as we see here, but Mason will be able to hop within his creep cargo. It's going to be a little bit of a delay for him, as he's pretty much bullied out from farming. But it looks like reinforcements are on the way.
They're just checking if someone is coming up.
All right, Mason pops out. He's looking to go for Envy. Envy does have Sunder. Can he get it off? No. They blast him down. Dubu's there with a Fade Bolt, and now MSS rotates in with Fata, and they're looking for a response. They will get Bulba, but that seems to be it. Or have I spoke too soon? Fata, a man on the prowl. Him and MSS will be able to make it a twofer as they get Dubu and clear out both supports.
Yeah, but it should still be fine for DC. They managed to kill Terrorblade and saved Nyx, lost two support heroes. Meanwhile, on top, Dubu forever just continue to farm. He wants to go for Midas first item.
Ah. Okay. He's feeling like this one could go a bit long, and playing it greedy or a bit faster, recovering a bit from that tough start. And we'll probably continue to flirt about this top lane for a bit. Once Storm Spirit gets a bit more time, Mason gets a bit more time to probably finish out the last bits of his armlet. Then we have like options for Storm Spirit bombs with RP follow-ups, or even later after that you can do the Blink Magnus bomb or something. So it's feeling like DC are comfortable just playing with the clock for now. They're fine farming.
Yeah, or Nyx Assassin bomb with Nyx.
Yeah. Who obviously has his Vendetta ready to go now. Fado, not a great target to look for here, so they'll have to check out some other options.
It's not much of a bomb. Maybe it's like more like a bug bus.
The buggy bus here. The little buggy. Look at him go. Kagami. Bulba.
Kagami bus. Everyone
to the high ground here. Oh, MSS. Seems to be able to slip out the other side, whether he knows it or not, avoiding trouble. Bulba will be able to at least get the high ground ward down instead, and now they're thinking about moving on to Fata. He's currently sitting under this tier 1 tower, defending it what looks like alone. MSS is kind of being the bodyguard at the moment, waiting in the shadows behind him, but he doesn't know is that there's a ward on the high ground watching him, so it seems like DC are just going to pick up business and go elsewhere before they waste any further time.
Yep.
Aoi has been just hanging out in the mid lane the whole time. He's also going for a Midas, so yeah.
Alright, I just disconnected for some reason.
Alright, well, we'll see you later.
I was talking about the item builds when you're playing again. You after if you want to survive, you go for that this, like solar crest build, so they can't focus you in few seconds. Some extra armor, some mischance against those heavy right clicks.
Forev, can he find the distance? No. The skewer is going to be a bit short, and yeah, RP obviously not going to be the best choice there, so he'll give him one to flash at, and then have to take his exit. Oh, mid lane, it doesn't stop yet, moving in, huge epi bomb will come out from MSS, him and Vata will tag team it, and that will be the end of Abed. And MP are starting to open up a good, comfortable early game here ever since the Blink Dagger was acquired from MSS. Sure, the initial debut wasn't great, but since then, they've been laying on the pressure here.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Every time the meta is up, they just go for objectives. So always take a tower or just try to get a gank on a good hero. Right now, it's gonna go down, so Terrorblade just continues to farm the forest. Also, Enchantress. I mentioned that she's like super good the first 5 minutes. Later on, she's not that good, so she needs to get a Midas to secure the late game for herself.
Definitely. Yeah, first 5 minutes, amazing, and then you got like a half hour until you're gonna get your time to shine again. That feels like it, at least. Midas will help you get there that much faster, though, and now he will continue to just do his thing in the mid lane, it would appear, until they feel like the time to push for that mid tier 1 is there. It's almost done, actually. MV's got about a minute before the metamorph, so MP are probably going to be pumping the brakes for a little bit. How about DC, though? You know, I haven't seen too many extra Vendetta setups. It's just seeming too difficult for DC at this time.
Yeah, if you check what AoE is doing, he's collecting siege creeps for the push.
That's cute. And they're going to bloodlust him too, right? That's what you do.
So he's slow sieging the mid.
Mason not happy about that. Looks to finish off these pesky catapults. Nice little deny there from Aoi. But still, footseeing from MP as they poke and prod at DC's mid lane in hopes of walking away with that tier 1. Oh, swing and a miss from MSS. Tried to get the burrow initiation there, but will not connect onto this one. They drop down the sentry and they gobble on up. Now, MP have Metamorph ready to go. We can see what kind of options they want to go for here, but DC are considering maybe a weapon of their own. They have the Infest Bomb currently heading all the way up towards that top lane. Maybe waiting for someone to respond, but right now MP are busy towards the mid lane. Uh-oh, Howie's the one to respond. He heads up there now, but he could regret it in a second. The bomb is dished. He's not going to strike with the Vendetta, but they have plenty of firepower instead, and they'll get the Enchantress down. Oh, MSS moving in with the Epi, seeing Mason just casually walk across the tower, says, don't mind if I do, and just jumps onto him.
Thing is that you mentioned that Nyx Assassin didn't.
Behold, a subtle bird.
Sorry,
Taking so much time.
Yeah, he's looking for more. Dubu is trying to wait and stall things out. Abed steps in, but Fanta's just waiting there, watching him. Finally strikes and takes him out. Oh, man. And now Abed's going to be forced to go right back in for his spirit brother. He'll try to slowly be able to bring him down. Fanta has no mana at the moment, so he's just slowly trying to walk away. He has his boots available, but eventually he just finds his way out. Abed unfortunately just sitting there beating him down, saying, just die or something. Can't do anything about it. Envy will use the last bits of that Metamorph and actually finish off the Roche. So now he has an Aegis.
So with the next Metamorph, he will have probably a Manta style completed, so they will be ready to go. But good Magnus on top of Hand of Midas, so they're also good to fight. Storm Spirit lacks a little bit of more gold to finish the Bloodstone, and when it's done, they'll probably try to get some charges on it.
And two times here for Pi as he sees Bulba walk away. But this is definitely a great time for DC, as you're alluding to. Forev in great fighting shape to dish out a great RP, and now they smoke. I'm curious who Mason wants to jump in. It's going to be Forev. So now it's the Mag Bomb. DD at the river looks so tasty. If anyone from MP heads over to grab it, could be trouble, but MSS seems to be the closest target.
Come on, sprites.
Casual sandstorm randomly. Makes things a bit concerning for DC, and now they're going to be the team running back out. Bulba's still watching him, but he goes under a sentry ward, and now they're going to quickly bug him. They're going to quickly squish him. He's dead.
Another defensive build coming out from Fata. I was talking about it. Sanking has one Solar Crest. Also, Ember Spirit has one queued up. That's just medallion for armor from Blade Mail, from Ring of Aquila. So that's what, 15 armor for him right now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Nice doing the timing on the Metamorphosis, as you can see. Envy unleashing it in the mid lane and chunking away at this tier 1 tower. DC, they have fight potential, but just the stars are not lining up at the moment. No! Forev does not find the target there. Maybe almost could have got a hold of Pi, but no. No, it was not there.
And they just continue. Meta will be down, but they still might continue pushing.
Tier 2 is now down, and well, for DC, unfortunately, they don't have an RP to work with in this fight. And MP are watching that. They are going to feel pretty good about getting more aggressive here. Top of the smoke, and that seems to be the call to make. MSS has got a Solar Crest done. He leads out the charge, heading straight north here. Looking to get the catch of DC.
Yeah, meanwhile, Envy is on bottom, just trying to split push.
But there's going to be the move in. They're getting the jump for Fata. They are going to be able to burst him down. Now they're going to look for opportunities to TP back home. If Envy's going to be pushing that bottom lane, is he going to stay there? Envy's going to stay bottom lane and keep pushing. As his team moves in and gets in the face of DC, this is going to cost DC a lot inside their base if they keep swinging. And it looks like they will. There's a jump in from MSS. He's going to get off the epicenter, locking it out with a bit. They're going to go for the finish, and now he's finally able to make it to a TP spot. Looks like Bulba and Mason were already here. Envy does a lot of damage onto that tier 3, but he's not going to be able to get the finish, and he does not have mana at the moment for a quick turnaround Sunder. Thankfully, though, he has the Aegis, but the problem is that he is far from his friends. Is he going to make it away just by simply walking out here?
Yeah, he can just run away. He has Manta Style ready. If he uses open, dodge it.
All right.
Also, nice play there from Ogre. When Storm jumped on the cliff, he placed an Obs Ward.
Oh no, DC's in trouble. They extend quite a bit to get a hold of Envy here, and Fata just simply boots and travels to the bottom lane. I thought for a second they were going to go for a jump onto Mason, but now they're suddenly geared up for a new fight. Forev does have his RP back again, so he'll get a new chance to hit a home run. But there's a Metamorph from Envy, and he's going to finish off that tier 3 with pretty much no effort. A Blink skewer play, then follows it up with RP. This time Forev finds his mark and gets it done. MSS is forced to commit in defensively, but he will also pay the price. Abed looking for follow-ups here, but it looks like Fata should be able to double jump away from trouble.
Envy needs to be careful for that RP. Aegis was gone, and now with the forced, that will be far.
Selfish.
Uh-oh. Lacoste? Sounds like your internet's being a bit finicky. Why don't you try disconnecting and reconnecting to the Discord channel? Just we'll refresh it a bit. Sorry about that. You just sound like a robot. I'm only getting like 1 word a second, so I want to be able to hear your full analytical insight. We'll just see if that works a bit. Forev back here towards the top lane now, since picking up that blink. As Midas continues to accumulate some good bounty for him, so he's got a 4-staff now. Extra ways of mobility and further distance to cover if he needs to get that big RP catch. And MP are going to now begin hanging around towards the Roshan side. 2 minutes, though, before we'll know the real timer. But it looks like they're going to start taking the initiative on pushing some of these lanes back forward and across the river, trying to maintain some space inside their side of the map.
I'm back.
All right. Seems good for now, so we'll just hope that that did
Dire's
it.
top tower is under attack.
So what's new with you?
Yeah, I'm all good. Did anything big happen while I was
No,
gone?
no, not at all. Just some more farm here. Lots of respect from MP and DC. Not looking to move in when they don't have everything ready to go. But gem now. I like the gem pickup here. Bulba buys one, hands it off, and now they can kind of take map control at this moment.
Yeah, I'm getting disconnects for whatever reason.
I'm sorry. Disconnects from inside the game? Or Discord?
Yeah, inside of the game.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just try to make the best of it, my friend. And chip in for what you do manage to see. I'm sorry. Couldn't come at a more unfortunate time, but here DC are looking for a fight time here. Slowly inching in. It's Bulba Bomb. Coming around towards the back lines. Convenient for him. No sentry vision nearby. Long jump in as they make their jump for Fata. He's able to zigzag out. And now it's awkward for DC. Mason's hard committed and looking to go for Fata here. The rest of the team heads out the other direction, so Fata does manage to rage TP back home, but Bulba's not going to be so lucky. He gets gunned down from Aoi. It was an attempted initiation from DC that looked great with Bulba scouting things out, but the long jump takes a little too long to get there with the power, and Fata's able to just sidestep it.
Yeah, also interesting build again on Envy. Yeah, well, that guy's just crazy with Heaven's Halberd.
Ooh.
I mean, some extra damage and extra miss hits from Lifestealer. Also, Lifestealer has Heaven's Halberd ready for himself.
This is the evasion meta, I guess, that's coming out before us here. He even gets the extra evasion once he gets to level 20 as well, so everyone's going to get forced into a position where someone's got to get an MKB or something.
Yeah,
Maybe...
well, Bloodthorn on Storm if he can get enough farm.
I can even see like Aoi get a Bloodthorn if this game goes long enough. Helping out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Here though, MP have pressured their way through the top lane. Tier 1 still standing up there, but since they had so much good fortune in the bottom lane, taking down that Tier 3 already, they will take the Shrine and the extra free money available. DC, oh, in a pretty good position for Ev. Not making the pounce just yet, but now they'll move on in and get the setup and quick execution of Highlight Eye. Abed with the follow-up, looking to isolate and hold on to Envy here. Envy not getting finished yet. MSS moving in with the Epi Bomb, and, well, it's going to get enough on the finish of Abed. Dubu diving in with the Stolen Remnants on the other side here, while Fata and Envy go for the finish on the Mason. Mason toggling it up, surviving, TPing out, he's gone! Manages to survive at the last possible second, but you can't say the same, unfortunately, for Dubu. He heads the other direction, drawing the attention there, but it's a DC fight that they will lose.
Again, they had a sentries ready for Nyx Assassin, and yeah, well, they can't really focus Terrorblade anymore with this item build, and also Storm Spirit was like really cocky going into Terrorblade, and he doesn't have Orchid ready yet. Also, he lost gem there. I just want to see where the gem is. Sanking has one. Oh, thanks for the gem, boys.
Yeah, that was Bulba's original gem, then taken away from Abed on that fight. Seeing multiple opportunities here for DC that just look so good. We saw the setup potential there in the bottom lane behind that Tier 1, and now here in front of that Roche pit, but MP just kind of a step ahead in their preparation, whether it be a convenient sentry ward or just having that higher ground positioning. It's just working out to the better of them, and they're just bringing in the rewards. You can see it on the net worth as they pull ahead about 8K of a net worth advantage. Both Envy and Fata at the top of the charts at the moment. And you got to begin to think, what is the trump card here for DC? What are they hoping to fall back on?
Trump card as Donald Trump.
Yeah. Maybe not for long, but
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Bulba, again, we've seen this before. Behind the tower, he gets jumped. He dishes out the Carapace to try to slow things down, but they've turned their sights onto Fata. Eventually, though, they will burn down Bulba, and Abed's going to be forced to retreat and run. Same with Dubu.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
It's really risky of DC trying to make these plays, especially near the shrine. Oh, Fata on that Ember, getting even more armor into Shiva's guard right now.
Jesus.
That's what, 36 armor, and they focused him, and with the mischance and blade mail, I don't think Fata's gonna die.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous amount of extra armor. Mason is going to have his work cut out for him if he's hoping to do any sort of respectable damage. Envy now inside the pit, still continuing to feel very hot today in their Dota play. Looking to lead things out with a Game 1 victory in this best-of-5 grand final. Fata heads to the high ground to make sure no one thinks about coming close. This Aegis belongs to Envy yet again. And the map has been drawn out. It looks like a push is going to be in order to get the tier 2 in the top. DC. Yeah. They got to hope for a home run, RP, Wombo combo kind of a play or something.
Oh, they have a good Wombo. Magnus just finished Refresher Orb.
Oh, shit.
So,
he has a Refresher Orb? A 1-3-2 Magnus who's on the loss? Like, that's crazy.
He has enough mana to cast it, just Blink, RP, Refresh, and one more RP. If he uses Arcane Boots, meanwhile, he can still get like one spell off. But he has to have full mana for this.
Well, for DC's sake, we'll see if he can kind of get that grand slam of a setup. Sounds pretty crazy, but I imagine MP, if they spot it out, will respect that ridiculous high ground defense potential of DC and probably go for their typical slow sieging kind of a play with an Eternal Envy, Aegis, Terrorblade, Bloodlust. I don't think that's going to be too hard.
Yeah, and this is where Enchantress starts to like deal a lot of damage, especially with Bloodlust.
She has her Hurricane Pike and is building up into a BKB. Pure damage is going to be coming out crazy from that impetus, and let's see what MP can do now. Tier 3 had already been taken down. It's all on the racks. Envy just walks right up, goes right into Metamorph, and looks to go for the racks here. Mason briefly steps in, hits him up with the open wounds. The first force will come out to step Envy back a bit. And now they think about re-engagement here. First Shrine going to have to get hit. He goes right for the Sunder, catches it onto Mason. Mason going to get chained down for Rev, moves in. RP not going to find the target they're hoping for, and he has to skewer out the other way and hope to refresh up for maybe a new RP, but these racks are going to be done for. A jumping from Abed, immediate chains there from Fata, multicast, and Abed could be gone, but he's able to somehow get off the heel. He survives, steps back. Dubu with the stolen Sunder is the one to bail him out, but he still ends up getting dropped. Envy locked inside, could lose his Aegis and will. A buyback from Abed. Coming from the fountain is able to dish out enough damage. DC trying to hold as best as they can, but it's Owie, the star of the show here. He just dishes out everybody with a rampage. Are you serious? Little Bambi turret.
Yeah, that's what I said. She deals a lot of damage right now.
Whoa.
Also, Storm can't focus her without a BKB. There was a good RPs by Magnus with a Refresher Orb. First time he went in, he actually faked it, and then he went in again.
Oh, okay. That was a really close pump fake. I actually thought he just missed, but it looked like it was right in the middle. Oh, whatever the case may be, the real problem being the little Enchantress dishing away so much damage from the back lines when really DC are putting all their focus on getting Envy down, not once but twice. There's really a lot of other problems waiting behind him.
She hits from 700 range and now has a BKB and untouchable. She really is untouchable in those fights, unless a Nyx kills her during the rage.
Which, yeah, again, Mason was putting a lot of his focus on to getting Envy, so there's only so much one Lifestealer would be able to do, and it's recovery mode now for Digital Chaos at this point. As they try to push their lanes back out, their Rax is totally evaporated in the bottom is just going to be a...
Stupendous.
It's just going to have to be a lane that they're going to be handicapped with here. But MP are in a pretty good uniform spot that they can just kind of rinse and repeat what they did on the bottom. I don't know if it's going to take stalling things out for the next ages before they make their next committed push, but, you know, if they like to play it safe, they could do that.
They can try one more push before the Aegis, because it's not gonna spawn. Even if they lose a team fight, they can still take another fight at Roche.
Duba's been doing some really good steals this game as well. You know, it's hard to look like you're doing very well in a Rubik in a game like this, but I couldn't even believe how bad I've even received all that life. I didn't even know where the heal came from at first. Duba's waiting in the back, trying to get a hold of what he can. There's a lot of good things to steal, but again, a very tough game for the support staff to kind of manage to avoid the trouble that you're getting from like someone like MSS who's breaching a lot of the backline action. And as DC are just moving themselves through the top lane, MP are back at the bottom lane. They took this lane out already, but they're doing MP stuff.
Yeah, just being smoked in the base, nothing wrong about it.
And look at that, just immediate pop and metamorph and to finish out the mid lane. DC make the call, all hands on deck. Get back inside, we gotta defend. We're losing our mid lane center racks. Bulba has to move in first. Gets out the stun, Abed steps in next and then jumps right back out. A BKB will be forced. Now he begins to creep in. He's got his BKB popped and he's looking to muscle down Bulba. Now looks to Mason. Mason turns back for Fata and they all dive to the low ground in a way. It's Envy who was given the space to finish out that mid lane set of racks, and they're done. They didn't even need to really get their hands dirty at all.
Yeah, just in and out. Sanking just buying some time, boosting him with the Solar Crest, Bloodlust from Ogre, and he just finishes those Raxes with a BKB on. They know they can't really fight there. Next time they will try to wait for Roche before they siege the last side.
Feels all according to plan here for MP. Just a pretty concrete game plan that's coming out nicely. Mason is frantic to finish out his MKB. I mean, we already mentioned before how he's not even able to really reach his true potential unless he's able to even do the damage. And you got Solar Crest on one guy, you got Halberd on another. The Enchantress is untouchable. It's a nightmare to be a melee core in this game, it feels like.
Yeah,
unless you get MKB.
And there's no MKBs. Okay, there is one finished on Lifestealer right now. That might change.
He had to spend his buyback for it at the moment, so DC will probably hope that he can get the money together for a buyback.
They still have 2 RPs, so this game is not over yet. If they pull it out correctly 2 times, like 2-3 men with Nikes hitting with Empower, then they can just wipe them really easily.
If you're a DC believer, a Forev believer,
yeah,
you can definitely see that happening. But MP are beginning their march, if you will, towards that top lane push. The mid lane pressure's already there. The bottom lane's going to be coming. This is it. MP looking to close things out for game number 1. DC have a really strong, formidable high ground defense. They're looking to smoke and hide their positioning, maybe even catch MP before they make their full move in, and catch him at the tier 2. There's going to be the initial jump. Coming in from Abed, Forev commits in hard with the RP. Will manage to lock down for Fata, and they will get the finish. But at that moment, Owie is able to right-click on through and not finish just 1, but 2 with a double kill. That will lead to the tier 2 takedown and an exchange of 1 for 2, and taking out that second potential RP of Magnus right now means that MP can continue to move on in. They want to force a buyback if possible, it seems.
Yeah, he needs to buy back right now.
Not spending it yet. Envy getting those shots in with the last bits of this Metamorph. That tower's
He's saving the buyback. Saving buyback for the game number 2.
There it is. And this could be it for DC. The final Harama defense. They're moving in. The pullback's there for Envy. He gets dragged in a bit deeper. The Sunder does come off, and now he unleashes everything he has on the back of a BKB, but Forev dishes out that second and final RP.
What a stun.
Is it going to be good enough? With MSS following it up with a miraculous Burrow Strike stun, DC could be shut in their place, but look at this. It's MP trying to frantically make their way out. MSS reflects back everything he can with a Lotus Orb, but eventually he will meet his demise. The rest of MP will finally take their leave. They walk out, leaving only one Rax left inside the base of DC. It looks like they draw it out on the map. This could be the all-in final hurrah push, or maybe a desperate attempt at the Roche. We'll have to see.
Selfish.
Oh, rooted on bottom. He insta-kills the Storm Spirit with the Blade Mail and with just Searing Chains, double Remnant.
Jesus. It was probably too violent for me to even air on TV. I missed it. DC inch the way of the Roche. They plant down the ward because maybe they're hoping for a huge counter Roche play. Oh, that sentry doesn't find its target.
The rune of illusion.
But still, continuing to have to go back and deal with the pressure coming in. And no Storm Spirit for 30 seconds. This is feeling all but over for DC in game 1. But MP are going to close it out. Moving for the Roche, they'll get their Aegis and then take their business towards that top lane or mid lane or wherever a lane is pushed in and go for the Megas and go for the finish. How much time for 2 RPs? Okay, there'll be only one RP.
100 seconds.
1 RP.
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
And they scanned right on top of the pit, so it didn't really trigger, it looked like. Oh, my bad. That was actually MP scan. Maybe looking to see if Bulba or someone was right around the corner. Either case, MP get their Aegis, and they're looking to end it out. Ooh, I actually thought he was going to TP on back, but they committed hard with a big bomb. Looking to at least get the support Ogre down. They will do so, but Bulba drops shortly after that. Owie looking to desperately rush away from the Mason Lifestealer, but he does make it out. He's got the Force Staffs to scoot away. Mason's out of this one. He doesn't have a buyback, and I think this is going to be it. DC make it back inside, but MP, they're coming back in looking to go for a finish.
Here I am.
Yeah, there's only one Rax left, and that's the ranged one. So they
just hit him with an RP for Ev. Just give it to him. It's over. He won't even get it off. They'll chase him down. They'll finish him off, and this one is done. Our first game of this best of 5 will belong to NP.
Dire victory.
MP dominant through that early game. Once again, MSS 1 versus 1 matchup totally destroys the lane. We saw that in the previous series. We saw it today again right now. He's 2, even 3 levels ahead and gets 9-minute Blink Dagger. Also, Aoi with some good early rotations and item builds that scales into late game so well.
Yep.
I expect actually DC to ban out Enchantress in the next game.
You think like a second phase ban?
Yeah.
It's hard though, because what will end up happening is suddenly something else creeps through you forgot about.